Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesday. How's everybody doing? Come on in. We're going to give everyone just a few moments to get in on what we're up to. Want to give some shout outs in the chat. So in the chat, if it's your first time, let me know. If it's your first time coming to Wealthy You Wind Down. But at any rate, let me know who's here with me so I can give you all a shout out and let me know where you hail from. So who you are and where you're from. That's what I want to know. Good evening, everyone. I'm Deborah Owens, and I'm founder and CEO of WealthyU, where we help Black women build their first investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond. All right. So it's Rain from Tappahannock, Virginia. Well, Rain, I'm going to give you a prize tonight because I believe you were one of the first folks waiting to get into the doors. So that means you're excited, and that makes me excited. Come on in. Let's give it just a few minutes for folks to get on in. Let me give some shout outs. Terry Turner, how you doing? Hailing from Birmingham, Alabama, where my people are from originally. Let's see, there is that Patina? Thank you for the invitation. My first time. Welcome to Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesday. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesday is and why we started. My good friend Jean Escarpeta is here. Lillian Long, one of our Wealthy You members. Let's see, Joyce Valentine, Opal Sharp, first timer from Norwalk, California. Welcome, ladies. And for those of you who are watching us on YouTube or perhaps you're on our Facebook page, we want to welcome you to Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesday. So what is Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesday anyway? Well, here's what I want to tell you. Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesday is where we come as a community, and basically the conversation is different when you're with women who want to win at building wealth. And Wealthy You, we do not fret over the markets going up and down, although our topic tonight is investing in volatile times, because we know in Wealthy You that we don't have to be fearful of the ups and downs of the market, because we know that you either, what, ladies in the chat, what do you do in Wealthy You? For my Wealthy You sisters who are here, we either what? We never lose, right? We never lose. We either win or we learn. And that's what Wealthy You is about. It's about winning and learning. Because it is through learning that we level up, and we'll be talking about that a little later. So for our first timers, I want to know, how did you learn about Wealthy You? For our first timers in the chat, let me know, how did you learn about Wealthy You? Because we got a lot going on. We've got a new program that just came out. I'll talk about that a little later. That's airing on the Black Star Network. We've got a commercial airing as well in the Washington, D.C., the DMV as we call it, the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia. And okay, so an invite by text, excellent. Facebook, yeah. Facebook getting all the money. We're doing a lot of marketing on Facebook, specifically to let you guys learn about Wealthy You and all that we are doing. So we're excited that you're here. And tonight, this is Wealthy You Wind Down. And one of the things I do in Wealthy You Wind Down when I start is I want to invite you. We like to take the edge off of money and wealth, because how many agree or disagree? Can the topic of investing and wealth and money, can it be a little emotional and stressful? In the chat, let me know. Can it be a little emotional or stressful? That's right, Joyce. Yes, it can. And so that's why I love to invite you to bring your favorite glass of vino with you. And I want to toast all of you on Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesday. What am I drinking? I'm drinking a Cabernet. That much I do know for sure. So let's get into it. And for those of you who are, I'd love to see your faces. So I want to get to know you. So turn on your cameras, ladies. Also, we're taping as well. And what many of the folks in Wealthy You, what many of our members know, that at any time we could end up in the media. But hey, come as you are. We are sisters. And so this is not about getting all dressed up. Now, unfortunately, I have to get dressed up, but just know that all are welcome, and I want to get to know you. Certainly, we've been in this virtual world, but I tell you, we have a masterclass coming up on March 12th, but we will be hosting an in-live event soon. Let me just preface this with, if COVID don't start acting all crazy again, we definitely are going to host one of our all-day Wealthy You retreats at a city near you, to be announced later on in the year. But let me just start out before I get into it. For many of you, the market's been like kind of wacky, right? And part of it is because of inflation, prices going up. Another reason that we've had so much volatility really has been because of this Ukraine war. And so I know from the get-go, all right, that many of you are looking at your retirement account statements, your 401k, and you may be feeling a little anxious, right? I mean, and all I'm going to say is that's okay. It's all good. But do you have any questions before I even get started on about what's going on in the market? In the chat, let me know if you have any questions so that I can address them this evening. Because here's what I want you to know is that there is always going to be uncertainty. And when there is uncertainty, it makes investors nervous. But the interesting thing is retailers just came out with their earnings. And who knew that Nordstrom and Target are hitting it out of the park? Their earnings, they surpassed their earnings targets. And so as a result, even within all this volatility, and so this is why we don't get nervous when the market is going up and down, because at the end of the day, there are always companies that are making money. And so that's why you're in Wealthy You, to be able to analyze, research, and discern where those investment opportunities are. And another interesting figure that came out today was that employment jobs, 475,000 jobs were created, far above what they anticipated. So here's all I want to say. Is in Wealthy You, we talk a lot about a wealth mindset. And a wealth mindset is not looking at things as everything is positive, everything is golden, but it's really looking at things from the lens of what are the possibilities, what are the opportunities, what are the things that when something out of the unexpected happens, there's always going to be a response, right? And a response to that, and how the economic environment responds to change, we're always looking at, as an investor, what are the opportunities for companies that are going to respond to that change, and who is going to benefit. And that really is a wealth mindset. A wealth mindset is one in which we're not looking at, that's going down or that is bad. A wealth mindset is looking to see that there are opportunities presented to us when problems happen. Agree or disagree? Okay, so Opal has a question for me, not really relating to the investing in volatile times market, but for those of you who are in the Legacy Wealth Accelerator, we had our real estate sprint, and our master instructor, Kim Nixon, amazing woman, huge real estate portfolio, is teaching us how to analyze and research real estate. And the interesting thing is someone asked her that same question about tax liens, and she broke it down. So I'm going to paraphrase what she said because I have no expertise in tax liens. But first, let me define what a tax lien is. A tax lien is really when someone owes property taxes to their local municipality and they don't pay it. What happens is, in order for that municipality to get their money, they can then put that property in jeopardy. Somebody can come and pay the lien that is owed, and then and then negotiate later to purchase that property, or they can just buy the lien, and the person then have to pay for any fees or court fees or whatever, and that is what people see as an opportunity to make money without actually owning the property. And Kim Nixon really gave us great insight on tax liens and the fact that there are people involved on both sides of the transaction. One is the bank or financial institution that owns that mortgage. The other are the actual people who live in those properties or own that property. And sometimes, and I've seen this particularly for those of you who live in the South, and perhaps your parents or your grandparents or somebody left land to you, that they're kind of like vultures just waiting on you not to pay that lien so that they can get in and take that property away from you. And the fact is that many estates and land have been lost as a result of this. So my take on tax liens, remember, those are real people on the other side of that transaction. And you need to do your homework, because sometimes you can also be left holding the bag. So that's my take on that. I'm simply paraphrasing on what of our master real estate instructor who has, and Joyce says that's right. That's why you pay your taxes on time. Or for most of us, if we actually have a mortgage on that property, those property taxes are being escrowed by the bank, because the bank wants to make sure those taxes are being paid and are not putting them at risk. But once you no longer have a mortgage or owe anything on the property, then the responsibility for payment of those taxes is on you. And, you got to keep a real close eye on what those obligations are. Excellent. Terry says the redemption law differs in every state, so be mindful of that. Thank you, Terry. Thank you for weighing in. Mikkel says, how much volatility is considered normal, and how should it be managed? Great question to start on, Mikkel. So I'm glad your question is so relevant to the topic. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about investing in volatile times is because for far too many of us, if we haven't had a long period of experience investing, and maybe all we've ever invested in is through our 401k, we just may not be accustomed to in fact, I was looking at analyzing and researching mutual funds today with one of our members, And what was interesting was that when we did a ranking of all the top mutual funds, those mutual funds performance years to date on average was down 15%, right? So, so who can relate to looking in your portfolio? And in December, using round numbers, I had 100,000. The value of my portfolio was 100,000, and now it's only 85,000, right? Or you've got, if it's 200,000, then you've got, now it's only worth 170,000. Does this sound familiar? Yes. And so the point is that in any given time, we can have something, like at the end of the day, volatility and uncertainty is normal, right? Because on any given day, anything can happen. So if we just go back to COVID, who saw that coming? Tell me, who saw that coming? Who saw a pandemic actually shutting down our economy? I don't know about you, but nobody, right? I mean, one day we were just, going about our business, and then the next day, as those cases rose and the impact of those cases rose and the illness got more severe, we began to see how much of an impact it was going to have on our day-to-day lives. Never in a million years. We are at 2 years right now. It is now March of 2022, and that started in March of 2020, and 2 years later, right, 2 years later, we are still not back to what we would call normal. But I would submit to you that this could be the new normal, right? In fact, one of my friends who travels internationally said to me, she says, oh, when I was in Japan and when I was in Asia, in the fall, they always wore masks. Because of what? Because of the flu and because of the density of the environment, so many people in a small space, they wore masks. We didn't wear masks, but guess what? Since wearing masks, now the number of people contracting flu has been diminished severely. And so our behavior has changed to adapt to this new normal we're in. But I want you to just think about this in spite of the fact, because this is a great lesson, you guys. This is a great lesson, right? I want you guys to lean in. This is a great lesson. I just want you to think about this for a minute. Now, 2 years ago, we experienced COVID. And yes, there are some companies who were severely impacted. And, if you think about it, you had companies like WeWork and these office spaces that were going gangbusters. Many of them either shrunk or went out of business, right? But in its place, there were a number of different companies that have fared quite well as a result of COVID. And there are companies like Zoom, we talked about this last week, like Disney Plus, who now that kids have to, they're at home, parents are, now they have a streaming service. So the point that I'm making, ladies, the point that I'm making is that in spite of COVID, and here's the truth, the market hit all-time highs at the end in the beginning of this year. So I want you to, now this is a true testament to why you cannot be fearful, right, about the ups and downs of the market. You cannot win if you're not in it. Okay, so the reason why I want to make this point is that, if you were going to make an assumption, a rational assumption, you would have said that COVID would have negatively impacted the markets because of the amount of economic disruption happened. And yet, this is the wealth mindset through and through. And this is why companies like Apple, Google, who are the main people now? Facebook, the main companies. The companies that innovate and adapt and are agile and say, okay, X just happened. How do we respond? How are our consumers going to respond? How can we adapt to that consumer and solve whatever new problem this new volatility has introduced? They win. In the chat, let me know. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that is the same mindset that we have to have as individuals in adapting in a marketplace that is far different from what it was with our parents. And now we have all this technological innovation, and that we have to be agile too. Are y'all with me? Because here's what I know to be true. Because we're not having these kind of conversations, right? Like we're in our little circle, and you guys know one of my favorite quotes of all time was Nipsey Hussle, who said, are you in a circle or are you in a cage? Are you in a circle with like-minded people who you are inspired by, or are you with them same people you've been with, been doing the same thing and expecting to get a different result, but you cannot get a different result if you have that same level of thinking and understanding and perspective? Ladies, you got to get, as our wealth mindset coach Kyrie said, you got to get into the possibility container. Right? Many of you are in the limited container. You have limiting beliefs, and you believe there's just so much that's available to people, and that's all you're going to get, and that's all you, and quite frankly, many of you think that's all you deserve. Now, whose street am I walking down? Can I get an amen in the chat, ladies? Are you with me? Right? Agree or disagree? You have to be in a possibility container. And so that's what I meant why we have WealthyU Wind Down. Is because the conversation is different when we're sitting with like-minded people who want to win at life and win at building wealth and achieve the level of financial success that I desire and I deserve. Right? I mean, I want you all to get this. Because the reason we spend so much time in WealthyU around mindset is because mindset is everything. Write that in the chat. Mindset is everything. If you think you can or you think you can't, it is true. And you know why? Who knows why it's true? If you think you can or you think you can't. Who knows why? That is the truest statement ever made. In the chat. That's right, because Opal, you are what you believe. What you think about, you bring about. You will make it so. Right? As a man thinketh, so is he. Okay, so I know I didn't mean to go on that tangent, but that's what I mean about volatility. Right? That's why we're talking about volatility. Because oftentimes our perception of what should be and what can happen are so far from the truth. And so in order to deal with volatility, you have to think about it in terms of your own perspective, your own needs, and your own goals, and your own objectives. and your own time frame. Is this making sense to you, ladies? Let me see if you understand. Because so much of our decisions, so many of our decisions can be made either through faith or fear. Right? And in the chat, let me know when you're making a decision out of fear, okay, what are you most apt to do if you have to make a decision when you're afraid? I want to see your answers to this. And in the comments, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, let me know. Out of fear, do nothing. Right? Right. Out of fear, not make a decision. Out of fear, make the wrong decision. Wanda, scale back or do nothing. Fight or flight. Well, here's the truth. Fear is paralyzing. Typically, if we're afraid, we're going to do absolutely nothing. And that is the reason so many people don't invest, because they're afraid, and that fear is correlated to a lack of knowledge. And because they have a lack of knowledge, they are fearful, so they do absolutely nothing. Okay, now I want to make a shift with you guys, all right? So, if I'm fearful because I've had no experience, because I have lack of knowledge, because no one in my circle has ever invested before, and by the way, because the people in my circle haven't invested before, what am I getting in the little corner, in the chatter? What are they saying to me? What are the people around me that if I say, oh, I just went to this WealthyU thing and they were talking about investing in volatile times, and they said, don't be afraid, you know that you got to invest. If you go back and tell your friends, and you convey what I have just conveyed to them, and they have never been exposed to it, what are they going to tell you? That's exactly what they're going to tell you, right? They're going to say, girl, be careful. That's right. Don't do it. Are you crazy? That's right. It's a waste of money. Yeah. Girl, you crazy. That's right. That is exactly what they're going to say. And you know why they're going to say it? That's right, Jacqueline. You can't do that. A lot of negativity. That's right. Fear. Girl, don't do that. Right. And so that's here's all I want you to understand. Is that's why we do WealthyU Wind Down. And that's why the community WealthyU exists. Because of all that ignorance and fear. You know, at some point, we are going to have to get out of our little circle and container, and we're going to have to create our own circle where we can have these kinds of conversations around investing and building wealth. Because here's what I want you to know is that in other cultures and communities, they're having these conversations. Are you with me? They're having them in their country clubs. They're having them at the dinner table. They're having them, right? They're having these conversations. And so WealthyU Wind Down Wednesdays, the WealthyU Community, if you haven't joined our free community, click on the link tree. She'll put it in the chat. If you haven't joined WealthyU, the reason you need to be in WealthyU is so that you can have the conversation is different when you're sitting with other women who want to win and achieve the level of financial success they desire and deserve. Agree or disagree with me, ladies? And for those of you who are who've been in this community, who are in the WealthyU Society, who are in the Legacy Wealth Accelerator, can I get an amen? And what we're really excited about in WealthyU is that not only are we going to have these conversations on WealthyU Wind Down Wednesdays, but we're having these conversations nationally now. And in the chat or in the comments, let me ask the question. Have you seen our new show, Get Wealthy, on the Black Star Network, curated by Roland Martin? Have you seen the Get Wealthy show? In the chat. You haven't seen it? Not yet? Well, in the link tree, click that link and hold on to that link, because then every episode you are going to see. And because some of y'all haven't seen Get Wealthy, then I just have to show you just a little promo of what this week's WealthyU is about. Watch the tape. On the next Get Wealthy, first generation investor, a technology professional, she increased the returns on her investments from 5% to 84% in just 1 year.
Investing in stock was a big shift for me. I got a little bit more comfortable with investing, and then I wanted to do it more. And so I'm looking and actively seeking out ways that we actually can grow our income as a family.
Watch Get Wealthy on the Black Star Network. What? You haven't seen Get Wealthy? Oh my goodness. That's right. Well, you need to go back, Sharon. You need to go back. We are on episode, is it 4 or 5 now? This time is going by so quickly. Amazing stories. And here's what I want. Yeah, it's 5, right? And here's what I want you to know is that the women that you see on Get Wealthy, at one point they were sitting right where you were. They came to a WealthyU Wind Down and they were like, what is this? Right? And then they got into our WealthyU Society and they learned how to analyze and research stocks. And now they are building their own portfolios. And to my point, that 84% was right during the midst of COVID. And so the point that I want to make is that is the point. What the only thing standing between you and the kind of returns and the kind of outcomes that you see in our program, Get Wealthy, what do you think it is? What did those women gain to have them achieve those kind of results that they hadn't been able to achieve their whole lifetime? I mean, these women are highly educated. They are in amazing roles in their career. What do they know now that they didn't know? In the chat, let me see what you come up with, ladies. So they let go of fear. Knowledge, that's right, knowledge applied. That's exactly right. And here's what I want you to know, and you're going to get to meet a lot of these women. If you haven't seen Get Wealthy, then you can see all of the recordings. You can go to the Black Star Network app. You can join our WealthyU community, and all of the links are posted right there. If you click on that Linktree link, and you can get all of our resources, get into our community. Everything you need, ladies, is right here if you are ready to achieve the level of financial success that you desire and you deserve. And what I am most proud of from these interviews is that you know, I was always fearful before I actually launched the WealthyU Community. Now I'm just going to be honest with you, right? Like I didn't believe it was possible for people to have a conversation where they would feel comfortable talking about first of all, their challenges, and then on the other side of that is their triumphs. Because how many of you know we have a tendency, unless it's some crazy stuff on reality TV, right? Unless it's some just straight craziness, we'll talk about some straight craziness. You agree or disagree? I see you nodding with me, Beverly. That's right, right? And Carolyn, I see you nodding. Karen, you nodding. That's right. We will talk about some craziness, but when it comes to really talking about the things of substance, of significance, that really matter, that can change the financial trajectory of the next generation, we don't want to have those conversations. Right? So I told this story before we got ready to launch our first group program. My wonderful operations manager and executive assistant, Stephanie, we did all this work. And then I just pulled the plug. Nope, we're not going to do it. And then COVID happened. And that changed everything. And then that's another example. Now here's what I want to tell you. See, you never lose. You either win or you learn, right? So in my little mind, this little limited mind that I have, I've got all this experience and I know what people will do. And by the way, I was paying thousands of dollars to a coach telling me exactly what I needed to do. And he had built a mega business, and me and my little pea brain, I know this isn't going to work. And then COVID happened, right? I mean, I'm just being fully transparent with you because what I want you to know is that I am you, right? And so when I wanted to expand my mind, expand this community, impact more people, I had to surround myself with other people who had done so, right? I want you guys to get this. And so then COVID happens and we're about to plan a live retreat, and most of our events were live. And we had to rethink it, right? So then, I'm getting all of this concern from all of the women that I coach now. Oh my God, what do I do? And I'm thinking, well, did you guys learn nothing? And so as a result, I started going live with them every night. We did a 21-day challenge, and then we launched the 5-day challenge, and then we launched the WealthyU Society. That was 2 years ago. We now have 200 members in it, and most of the women that you're going to see on Get Wealthy are a result of adapting, innovating, and responding, right, to a challenge. And that's what I want all of you to understand, that if you want something different, if you're ready to level up, you've got to do something different. You cannot be afraid. In fact, you're going to get to the point where when something happens, when uncertainty presents itself, you're going to be able to look at it through a different lens and say, how can I respond to that in a way that is going to benefit? How will other companies respond to it in a way that it's going to benefit? How can I create value out of uncertainty? And that's why the Chinese have these two characters, and they represent crisis, right? Crisis and opportunity. And that's exactly the muscle you have to build if you want to move beyond your current circumstances, beyond anything that you've ever imagined. Is this making sense to you guys? Is this making sense? Let me go to the chat. So that's right, change and mindset. That's right, Dia got an understanding of investing in the stock market. Melissa, she turned finances into assets. That's right, she turned her income into assets, and that is the secret. Kawana says, I'm grateful for these conversations because it's not taught in school or most African American homes. Investing and financing I'm ready to change and help my family be open to investing. And that's exactly right. Thank you for that, Kawana, because that's the whole point. That's the whole point. I remember, I've been so excited about exposing other people to wealth and investing, because I got an opportunity to go into that world and I had never been exposed to it. And I realized that this knowledge about building wealth is inherited, right? And so that is the whole point of WealthyU. That's why I'm so excited about what you just said, because the whole point of WealthyU is for you to gain that knowledge, not for yourself, but so that now you can have these conversations around the dinner table. You can have these conversations at family reunions. You can start gifting your nieces and nephews stocks instead of giving them toys and their birthday and Christmas. Do you understand what I'm saying? The mission to help 1 million Black women get to $1 million in net worth is so that they can create intergenerational wealth. Is this making sense to you, ladies? Right? And so that's what WealthyU is about. WealthyU is more than money. It's not the money, it's the mission. Because the mission will fundamentally change the trajectory, the financial trajectory of our families for generations to come. Because the most important asset of all is the knowledge of how to build wealth. Are you getting me? Show me some reactions. If you know, and there's some reaction buttons, I want to hear from you. If you understand what I am talking about, let me get an amen. That's right. Some hand claps, some high fives. That's what it's about. And so that's why, even in WealthyU, in the WealthyU Society, in the Legacy Wealth Accelerator, these women are working it out. They're learning how, they have skill building lessons. They're learning how to analyze, optimize, and maximize everybody's situation. Everybody starts different, but they're in our skill building sessions every week. They're learning how to analyze and research mutual funds. They're learning how to analyze and research stocks. They're learning how to start their first stock purchase using apps. They're learning how to make a stock market watch list. But even that is not enough, because things continue to change, and so we have to stay on the cutting edge of everything. And so in order to do that, then we have quarterly master classes, and those quarterly master classes are designed and focused on a specific thing. And this, I'm so excited. If you haven't gotten your ticket to our next Legacy Wealth Masterclass, Level Up to Accelerate Beyond to 7 figures and beyond, you don't want to miss this. In the Linktree link, you can go to, it says, go to the Legacy Wealth Masterclass. You want to attend this masterclass. And here is why. The reason you want to attend this masterclass is because we have some amazing speakers coming in specifically to help you level up to 7 figures and beyond. This masterclass is March 12th. It is from 9 to 4 p.m. The doors open at 9. Our virtual doors open at 9, but you can come, we start officially at 10 o'clock. And we have really designed this masterclass specifically to help you level up. Now, here's why. How many of you feel like maybe you're in a soul-sucking job and you're like, oh my gosh, if I could just find that next opportunity? In the chat, let me know, do any of you feel like that? Do some of you maybe even feel like, man, you know what? All these people around me are getting promoted, but why do I keep getting passed over? What am I doing wrong? You want to know what? I bought the exact person just for you. Her name is Sherry Sims. She's a bad sister. She actually is the founder of Black Career Women Network. And she's going to be coaching you guys on what you need to level up to lead like a boss. Some of you are in your own little cubicle, and now you're in your virtual cubicle, and you think if you just do your little job that eventually good things, ain't nothing going to happen to you doing the same thing you've been doing. Okay? So she's going to be coming in, and she's going to be sharing exactly what you need to level up to lead like a boss. Then, here's what else you need to know. How many of you have been in your same little circle and you're maybe wondering, what could I do to, just enhance my business and professional life? What do I need to do so that I could be exposed more? So that opportunity, so that I can not wait for the opportunity, but that I can create the opportunity. Well, I'm telling you, we're going, the conversation is different when you're sitting with winners. And my very dear friend, another bad sister, she does golf trips around the world. She has her own event planning company, and she does events for major corporations. But you know what? She's also author of The Business of Golf, and she shares with you the insight you need to understand why golf is the sport of business. And ladies, you're going to learn the framework, and she's going to be sharing with you that insight and those tips. And then how many of you, like, you've been searching and you maybe apply to opportunities and you're maybe looking for opportunities. What if it was possible for the opportunities to find you? What if you could attract your next opportunity? What if you could have recruiters beating down your door? How would that feel? In the chat, let me know. Would it feel good if you were in demand? Do you want to be in demand? Do you want people saying, hey, I saw your profile. Well, guess what? Guess who we've got? We've got another bad sister. She is CEO of LinkedIn Pros, and she's going to show you how to level up on LinkedIn, how to attract the opportunities. Do you know LinkedIn is one of the most amazing networking platforms? See, many of you are on here trying to find your opportunities on Facebook. Boo, that's not where your business opportunities are. Your business opportunities are on on LinkedIn, and so much of your ability to attract the type of opportunities you want are based on keywords, or based on those algorithms, are based on your profile. Who on here wants to really understand how to make this technology work for you? How many of you want to learn that? Right? How many of you want people beating down your door and saying, oh, I saw your profile and I think you'd be a great fit for XYZ? You want to know how? Then you got to be at this Legacy Wealth Masterclass. And I'm going to do something really crazy tonight. Okay? Now, all of you members in the WealthyU Society, you already have privileges. You don't even have to register, because you're going to have a secret link to just jump on in. But those of you who are maybe watching me on Facebook or maybe watching me on YouTube, and you're not in the WealthyU Society, many of you are in the WealthyU Community, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you the secret code, but you better use this code in 24 hours. Because it's going to be gone. All right? This masterclass is $197, but if you sign up tonight, you're going to get into what we're up to for $47 using the insider code. So all you got to do is click on that link tree, go to the Legacy Wealth Masterclass, or you can just go to WealthyUMasterclass.com. And when you click on that link, if you put insider, INSIDER, in the promo code. See, I'm feeling rich. So I'm investing in you tonight. Now, some of you, though, come on now. $47, you can't go to dinner for $47, okay? So you want to connect with your WealthyU ambassador. You want to take advantage of this. Put the link in the chat. It's already there. Use the code INSIDER. Use the code INSIDER. So I'm investing in you guys. I want to invest in you. I want you to experience the same kind of growth and results that you saw Dia experience. And by the way, and don't be giving me no excuse where I got something to do. It don't matter. You get the recording for 90 days. But I want you to understand why in WealthyU our women are so successful. Because they're getting insight not only from the speakers that we have, not only from the ongoing skill building challenge, but guess what? In WealthyU, there are some amazing women themselves, right? And they're growing and they're going to inspire you, and that's what I want to happen for you. But you know what? I left out two of our other amazing speakers. You're going to hear from Tamika Smith, award-winning journalist, and you're going to learn how to level up your profile so you can be positioned to prosper. And she's going to show you some amazing strategies and tactics around branding yourself. And then finally, our WealthyU ambassador, our WealthyU member success advisor, our WealthyU facilitator, Michelle Smith, is going to share a bit about her journey in WealthyU and how she leveled up her income, and she hasn't looked back. She is one of our amazing facilitators, but guess what? She was sitting right where you were, and she knew that she wanted something greater. And so as a result, she took this journey, and now, she out here running things on several levels. And that's what I want for all of you. What I want you all to know is this, and this is so true, is that you have everything you need to be everything you need to be. But the only way that you're going to ever experience the level of financial success you desire and you deserve is that you've got to lean in and be willing to invest in yourself. You've got to be willing to make an investment. You've got to be willing to do something you've never done before because you want more. And if you want more, guess what? You got to do more. And that means showing up. And that's what I love about this community. We have women in this community who volunteer, who are member success advisors, who are facilitating. We have a phenomenal team. They have other responsibilities, but you know what? They're here tonight, and they have shown up for you, and they continue to show up. So what I want you to know is that you have everything you need to be everything you need to be. And we are here to help you do it, but we can't do it for you. So all you need to do is click on that link tree, take advantage of this 24-hour offer. Don't get left out. Don't get left behind. And by the way, if you know someone else in your circle that needs to be in this room, that experience the same kind of challenges, that maybe they feel like they want to be left behind. If you want your tribe, your crew, your squad, your posse to be in the room, all you got to do is have them go to that link, sign up, and it is going to be an amazing day. And in addition to that, throughout that day, I'm going to be sharing the Wealth Blueprint and exactly what you need to do to experience the level of success of all of the women in this community are experiencing. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. But the women that get the furthest, the fastest, who wants to know the secret to the women that get further fastest? Who wants to know? You know, want to know what it is? They lean in. They lean in. I mean, those are the women. They are at every one of our trainings. They are showing up on WealthyU Wind Down Wednesday, but they are applying what they learn. In WealthyU, our framework for success, our legacy wealth framework is mindset. First, you have to make the shift to a wealth mindset. Strategy, then you got to analyze and optimize what your unique opportunity levers are. And they're different, ladies, for everybody. So the women that get the further, the fastest, they don't look to the left or the right. They look straight ahead because they've created their wealthy vision. They know what they want in the future. They're leaning in. And every day they're making a little bit more progress to the point that then you can see the results and the outcomes of the Dias in the world, of the Tisa Silver Kennedys, of the Charity Davises, of the Dr. Sharon Deans, and we've got more coming with you, for you, of the Belinda Williams, all of these women. Why they have gotten the furthest, the fastest is because they've taken something, they've applied it. They've taken something, they've applied it. They've taken something, they've applied it. And eventually what happens is that framework is like a flywheel. And once you get momentum, it's almost like it goes on its own. And you heard that in that very short clip from Dia. What did she say? She said, well, I learned how to invest. And then the next thing I knew, I was learning how to invest. And you want to see her story. So click on that link tree. You can see the entire stories. These interviews are anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour long. But I do not want you to be a passive observer. Now, this is the real secret. Is when you are being conveyed insight and knowledge, begin to think about how you can apply, right, that framework. I'm not talking about the identical thing, but the process they use to get where they are. How can you apply that process to your life? Everything is a framework or a model, and when you have the right framework, you can apply it, and it will basically work with anything. And that's what our legacy wealth framework is about. It's about giving you a framework that you can apply and get the same result over and over again, and that result be the result of success. So I can't wait for you guys to join us at our Legacy Wealth Retreat. That's March 12th, 10 to 4 p.m. Doors open at 9. We've got an exciting day planned for you. Remember, use the insider code, INSIDER, for 24 hours. Don't wait, ladies, because you know you're going to forget. Go ahead, click on that link, get in on what we're up to. I hope you enjoyed WealthyU Wind Down Wednesday this evening. And again, I'm Deborah Owens, founder and CEO of WealthyU, where we help Black women build their first investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond. We'll see you right back here next Wednesday. But don't forget, Get Wealthy airs. Our next episode of Get Wealthy airs on the Black Star Network. First airing at 11 o'clock a.m. Second at 8 o'clock p.m. on Mondays. So that's going to do it for me this evening. And you can watch it on demand at any time. Again, go to our link tree for all of the information to get the links. That's going to do it for me this evening. And good night, everybody.